Oh, and welcome to the first ever Ottawa Fury FC school day game. Jenna Mosier alongside me, Tyler McDonald. 7,000 plus kids expected here today at TD Place. Jenna, we'll test your knowledge of school here. What's 1 plus 1?
2.
That's incorrect. It's actually 11. Going into the last game for Ottawa Fury FC, suffered a loss against the Rochester Rhinos in a 1-0 defeat in Rochester. Jenna, Fury started out slow. They picked things up in the second half, but how they have to take that momentum from that last 45 and bring it to this game?
You know, I think we saw it with the lineup change in the second half. They changed out their front line. Hume went in really aggressive, playing just basic soccer, and that's what they needed. We also got to see Carl Haworth. So that was great, too. He was out there. He was ready to play. He was excited, and we're going to see more of that from him today.
Hopefully it's going to be a defensive change. You're going to see a change in formation as well for Ottawa Fury. 4-2-3-1 will be in the lineup today instead of the regular 3-4-3. That'll be interesting to have a little more, or at least a different perspective on what Coach Dalglish was going to try to do here with this Fury squad.
Well, you have that huge target up front. You've got Hume up there. You can hit him with the ball. You're going to have Desantos playing an offensive midfield more than likely, and he's going to be great because he's going to be facing the net instead of having his back to the net. So we're going to see a lot from him too.
Carl Haworth will get his first start of the season as well. That's huge for Fury to have, well, the player that's been here since day one, since Fury became a pro team in the NASL and now, of course, in the USL. He's back in front of a huge crowd. He's going to love that.
Oh, yeah, and you know he's going to come out there with a whole lot of energy because he's had a good bit of time off, right, to rest, heal, and we're going to see him in full force down that right side.
Now, before we go, Orlando is coming all the way from Florida, of course, and playing in a school day game early in the morning. Does that affect Orlando's team at all? Do they have any jitters coming to this one?
Oh, I'm sure they have jitters. I mean, you have over 7,000 children that are going to be screaming Ottawa Fury. So, yeah, they're going to have a bit of jitters, but they're professionals as well. So they'll come out full strength, too.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have lineouts from Graham Ivory and AJ Jackbeck, who will also be on the call. Orlando City B versus Ottawa Fury FC. Right when we come back, this is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Act like we like each other. And welcome back to TD Place. AJ Jackbeck alongside Graham Ivory. It is the first ever Ottawa Fury FC school day game. About 7,000 kids here today, and pretty good atmosphere getting set for this morning contest between Ottawa Fury FC and Orlando City B.
Yeah, even just, during the warm-ups and hearing the noise from the kids, that was something spectacular. Can't wait for that first goal here this afternoon, AJ.
Let's have a look at the starting 11 for both teams, and it's brought to you by Gabriel's Pizza, Ottawa's bigger, better pizza. Gabriel's Pizza, 310-77-77. So you can look at Ottawa Fury FC's starting 11 there, going with a 4-2-3-1 with Callum Irving, the Canadian international, in goal. Then you've got a back four of Andre Campbell, the Jamaican international, Shane McElhaney, the Irish under-21 international, Kyle Venter, the American, and Englishman John Barden playing right back. Above them, Argentinian Gerardo Bruna, and American and captain Lance Roseboom. Then it's Carl Howarth, the Canadian, Ottawa Fury FC's Player of the Year last year, international, played against South Korea, and he is making his first start of the season coming off the bench on Saturday in that 1-0 loss at Rochester. Then it's Cape Verdean Steven Desantos and Haitian international Jimmy Shamar Sano. Above them, the lone striker, American Tucker Hume. For Orlando City B, it's a 4-4-2 with American Earl Edwards Jr. with a back four of Kitchener native Zach Ellis Hayden, Connor Donovan, Zach Carroll, the captain, and Austin Martz. Then it's Pierre Da Silva, Riley Kraft, and under 19 international as Fury look to go forward here, and Hume plays it across the 6, and it's grabbed here by Earl Edwards Jr. as Ottawa with a first chance in the opening minute. Other two midfielders, Jordan Schweitzer, a Canadian under-23 international, and Danny Deacon. And then the two strikers, a lot of Canadians on this Orlando City B side. 3 in the starting lineup, Ben Polk and number 99. Must have a Wayne Gretzky influence, although I don't know. I mean, he's a Calgary native, but he played for FC Edmonton from 2010 to 2013. It is Michael Cox. What do you think? He's a Calgary native that grew up a Flames fan and is thumbing his nose at the fact that who cares about 99, or maybe that Edmonton influence playing at FC Edmonton, he wanted to wear 99 that way.
Name the only player wearing 99 that's ever played for Ottawa Fury FC. Come on, this was part of our road trip trivia when we went down to Toronto.
Forgot already.
Well, he played in the state of Florida. He was loaned here from Tampa Bay Rowdies, and that was Danny Moenga.
Moenga, yes. I didn't get that on the road trip either. I did get Hamza Eliash, though. Fury work it left to right here as they try to gain possession. Corner flag and a free kick going against Ottawa. They're wearing their all-red kits and the all-white kits for the visitors, Orlando City B. Should mention the officials today. Referee is David Barry. Assistants are Sean Hornsby and Andrew Pickler. Chris Grabus is the fourth official, and we also have, for the first time this year, could have used it the last home game, video assistant referee.
Yeah, I want to see it in action today, but at the same time I don't.
Get to our keys to the game in a moment as Ottawa look to break here, but this is cleared away back inside the Fury half, and here comes Orlando City B, 35 yards out, played wide left and dealt with there by John Barden as Fury gained control through Howarth. Plays it to the left side, Jimmy Shamar Sanon. And he loses possession. Now let's get to our keys to the game.
All right, 3 keys to an Ottawa victory today. AJ, key number 1, quick out of the gates with a young and energized crowd here at TD Place. Ottawa needs to set the tempo early and get off to a strong start. Key number 2, win the battle of the boxes. Ottawa must win the crosses in Orlando's penalty area, especially on set pieces, and defend their own 18-yard box. 14 of the 15 goals conceded by Ottawa this season have come inside their own penalty area. And key number 3, keep the pace high. Fury FC are at their best when attacking with pace. The less time they give Orlando to set up their shape, the better.
Well, to enter the 5th minute, 0-0. Here's Andre Campbell for Ottawa, and Campbell's going to give it a go from about 40 yards out, but that didn't breach the 18-yard box for Orlando as they're forced back. Here's Zach Ellis Hayden, the Kitchener native, and he'll Earn a throw for Orlando. Two teams looking to advance into the top 8, which of course is the playoffs in USL East. Right now, Ottawa 9th on 16 points, ahead of Orlando City B on goal difference. Ottawa +1, Orlando City B -1. 4 teams actually on 16 points. Charlotte with the best goal difference at +2. Roseboom moves it wide right. Here's Howarth. Looks to get it across for Jimmy Shamar-Sano. He takes over about 25 yards out, far touchline. Cuts toward the byline. Nothing there, so he plays it back to Andre Campbell. Campbell with the cross. Up top, over the head of Tucker Hume, comes to Howarth on the half volley, and his effort misses wide of the near post. Goal kick. Orlando City B 0-0 in the 6th minute as we continue on the implications of today's game. Again, Ottawa 9th, but a win would put them level on points and even on goal difference, so they would be at least in a tie for 5th with Bethlehem Steel. With a victory here today, a draw would put them ahead of Cincinnati and New York Red Bulls 2 into 6th based on goal difference, and they host New York Red Bulls 2 on Saturday at 2 o'clock here at TD Place. So a couple of really big matches for Ottawa to try and climb the table in USL East this week. Long ball towards Tucker Hume, and that's cleared away, but it comes back towards Hume near touchline, 20 yards out. Hume could not get to the byline or get the cross in, and he does win an Ottawa throw in the 7th minute. Howarth will take this. 4 players inside the 18-yard box for Orlando, or for Ottawa. But it is cleared away for another Ottawa throw a little further up the pitch.
So there are 2 sons of Premier League managers managing in today's game. Paul Dalglish, of course, son of legendary Kenny Dalglish, who made his name for himself as a player with Liverpool, but also has been the manager of them as well. He's also in attendance here today as he's in visiting the family for the week, but his counterpart today, Anthony Pulis, son of West Bromwich Albion manager Tony Pulis.
Long ball, and Howarth trying to keep this alive, and he does keep it in play. And but what a corner for Ottawa Fury FC. There's that great pace, and a lot of players able to keep that in play as that looked like he was heading out of touch.
Yeah, great run there from Carl Howarth down the right side. A bit of miscommunication inside the penalty area from the Orlando defense, as I think there was a much better clearance option than awarding Fury the corner here.
So it will be Gerardo Bruna, left-footed in-swinger, trying to pick out Kyle Venter back post, but it's headed away. And Orlando City B will send it up the far side, and now Jimmy Shamar-Sano was grabbed, so free kick for Ottawa about 30 yards out on the far touchline.
First ever start as a member of Ottawa Fury FC for Jimmy Shamar-Sano. We've seen him come on as a substitute on many occasions. Has 1 goal this season in that shootout seeming like game in that 5-3 win over Richmond.
Here's the delivery inside the penalty area. Flicked on here by Lance Roseboom after they tried to pick out Tucker Hume on the original ball, but goes back to the keeper Earl Edwards Jr. and will push everyone forward. 9th minute, 0-0 here at TD Place.
Well, we didn't mention this in the keys to victory, but there are 3 players of great significance that Orlando do not have in the lineup here today. Their top 3 scorers, Haji Berry, Richie Larea, and Albert Dikwa, who all 3 of them have 3 goals on the season. So 9 goals already out of the lineup just with those 3 players, and Orlando has scored just 15 through their opening 13 fixtures.
PC not in the lineup either.
Yeah, I know you're disappointed.
Former NASL Stalwart, very good player, has a tendency to dive a little bit. I'm just glad he's still I'm just glad he's still alive from one of his previous visits here, because I honestly thought he was dead.
I believe the technical term is simulation.
Orlando City B work it back outside the 18-yard box as they play it wide right. Danny Deacon trying to get it onto his left foot. Moves this into the middle. Carroll. Now it comes wide left. One-time ball from Donovan, cleared away, and comes back to the halfway line as Orlando City B will regroup. It comes all the way back from Schweitzer to the keeper Edwards. Now Riley Kraft is fouled. A free kick for Orlando inside their own half. Should mention as well, amongst the substitutes today for Orlando City B is former Ottawa Fury FC defender Timbo. Launch forward to the far corner flag. Orlando attacks, and this will be cleared forward towards Tucker Hume. Orlando in possession at the halfway line. Ball intercepted by Kyle Venter. Now to Howarth. Orlando regains possession and play it back to their keeper Edwards.
Earl Edwards Jr., 3 shutouts on this season, a U.S. Youth International. He was a 2015 MLS draft pick by Orlando, enters his 3rd season with the club and has taken the reins of the starting role for them so far this season. This is 12th start.
Off the Orlando throw, they work it back to Riley Kraft. He'll play it wide right, and no one there for Orlando, and it's an Ottawa throw as Andre Campbell quickly gets it in play to Kyle Venter.
Well, this is a team that certainly doesn't mind going for broke when they're playing away from home. 3 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses on the year for Orlando City B. So certainly don't sit back and let the game come to them, that's for certain, albeit Ottawa has been in control so far inside the opening 12 minutes.
It's a Fury throw here in the 13th minute. And Shane McElhaney, the Irish Youth International, plays it forward, but Ottawa called for a foul. Free kick, Orlando.
We talked about it in the broadcast Saturday against Rochester, AJ, and with the squad quickly returning to health, and at that point only just without the services of Ramon Martin del Campo, certainly giving Paul Dalglish a lot of options on his bench, especially when it comes to the attacking players, and no different again here this afternoon with Ryan Williams and Cito both available off the bench, and those are 2 of the top scorers on the team this year. That's 6 goals between the 2 of them sitting on the bench, 7 if you include Eddie Edward in that mix. Of course, unavailable today, Ottawa Obasi, Michael Salazar, who's back with the Montreal Impact, who was recalled due to some injuries there in their competition in the Canadian Championship. They'll take on Toronto FC tomorrow night. And Del Campo about a week or so away from returning to the squad.
Here's Howarth with a ball on the right side. Steven Desantos just outside the Orlando City penalty area. He is clipped, and that'll be a free kick in a very dangerous spot. About 15 yards out, just outside the penalty area to the right. So we'll see if Ottawa can curl in a free kick here. Bruna is going to stand over this one. Carl Howarth also in the vicinity.
Well, you're talking about 2 players right now that could both use a goal right here. Carl Howarth in his first start of the season, but certainly to get things going, to pick up where he left off last year, and for Gerardo Bruna still looking for his first goal as a member of Ottawa Fury FC.
It is Gerardo Bruna with the cross, and it's headed away. Good ball. He curled that in right inside the 6-yard box, but Fury work it back towards Desantos over the keeper, and it's played off the line as Tucker Hume looks to turn. Here's Hume, Now Desantos takes a tumble. Referee says play on, and it deflects off Ottawa for a goal kick. So a couple of opportunities there for Ottawa to open the scoring in the 15th minute, but some brave defending right off the line.
It was Zach Carroll who, I believe, cleared that one off the line. Yeah, great defending there on the previous free kick. It was great service from Gerardo Bruna. Just couldn't find anyone in red. And then a scramble inside the box. Where's Dean Brown when you need him, AJ?
Taking a well-deserved summer off.
No kidding. But Zach Carroll, who just made that recent clearance, he is the captain of Orlando City B. Joined the club this season after winning the USL title last year with New York Red Bulls 2. Starred at Michigan State in 2015, also attended University of Virginia.
Free kick just inside the Ottawa half, sent forward towards Tucker Hume by Callum Irving. He heads it wide of the target, and it will be a goal kick for Orlando in the 16th minute, a quarter of an hour done. 0-0, and Ottawa with the best chances so far.
Well, in the keys we talked about, important that Ottawa was quick out of the gates, and I'm sure Paul Dalglish will be pleased with the start that he's seen from his squad through the opening third of this half. Saturday's 1-0 loss in Rochester certainly picking up where they finished off in that second half. It was a much better second 45 from Ottawa. They really dominated Rochester, who struggled to get out of their own half for the better part of the second 45, and now we'll see the first yellow card of the game.
Yeah, Howarth fouled very hard.
It's like Zachary Ellis Hayden, the Canadian from Kitchener. He'll go into the books here, and second season with Orlando. He won a PDL title back in 2015 with KW United, alongside teammate Ben Polk, who was 2016 draft pick of Portland Timbers. Spent last year with them before moving over to Orlando this season. Canadian clubs have had pretty reasonable success in winning PDL titles. If you think KW United, FC London won with Carl Howarth back in 2012, and I think it was 2009. Could be mistaken on the date, when the Thunder Bay Chill also won a PDL title.
18th minute, 0-0, and an Orlando City B throw inside their own half. Should remind you that every Monday, Ottawa's premier soccer show looks at the world of soccer, from our local club teams to Ottawa Fury FC to the beautiful game across Europe and around the globe. It's Corner Kicks every Monday at TSN 1200, where we learn about why.
Oh boy.
Why do we have an under 21 European Championship and an under 20 World Championship, where countries basically can't decide whether they're going to send their players one way or the other way, so they split it, and basically in the end we have a diluted down version of both. Why isn't there a commissioner there to come up with these great ideas?
Would you know of one?
Well, I know of one. Potentially. He is busy working. Had a great conversation with Audra Sherman yesterday from Ottawa Fury FC, and we'll hear from her at halftime as well, in conversation with Tyler McDonald and Jenna Mosier about her trip up north with Canadian women's national team players Ashley Lawrence and Kadisha Buchanan, as they traveled to Whale Cove, Nunavut, to visit the community there and hold some soccer clinics. Will be another Orlando City B throw. Flicked on by Cox, or towards Cox, sorry, by De Silva. Oh, tripped up is
Oh,
Lance
how is that?
Roseboom,
There,
and yeah,
there. Just
got to be a foul there against Orlando.
well, this is the second of 3 games on a road trip for Orlando City B. They lost 1-0 last Wednesday in Toronto to TFC 2. They'll move on to Rochester to take on the Rhinos Friday night.
Gerardo Bruno with the free kick here. 40 yards out, right of center. Delivers inside the penalty area. And again, trying to pick out Big Tucker Hume. Flicked on towards Desantos. Comes now towards Hume. With his back to goal, 2 defenders on him. Lays it off for Sanon towards the byline. And Jimmy Schmarsano will win an Ottawa Fury FC corner in the 21st minute.
Well, Ottawa's done well to earn a few set pieces already today. And as we mentioned about them winning the battles in both the boxes, this is one area where if they can get some degree of consistency, they can become quite dangerous.
It's a Carl Howarth corner, right-footed in-swinger. Here's the delivery, and it is headed inside the box and now clear. Right to Andre Campbell. Comes to the near touch line, and gaining possession is Ottawa's Tucker Hume. Hume towards the byline. Pushed, but stays on the ball. Now 2 white shirts against him, and Hume wins a corner for Ottawa.
Yeah, good work by Tucker Hume. 2 men against him. Whole time he had, I believe it was Michael Cox trying to push him off the ball. Rather make that Pierre De Silva.
Yeah, they have a 98 and a 99.
De Silva is the first player in Orlando history to come all the way through Orlando's development ranks from their academy all the way to their first team.
Here's Bruno with the delivery. Left-footed in-swinger on the corner. Inside the 6-yard box, and again headed away. Comes to Sanon. Left-footed drive, and that misses after he chested it down and tried it on the half volley. Unable to hit the target. Goal kick, 22nd minute, 0-0. Ottawa Fury FC and Orlando City B.
Finish the thought on De Silva. He's just 18 years of age and is currently the youngest player also in the first team squad. If you look at the average age of your starting lineup here today, Ottawa at 25.2 years of age, Orlando at 22.7. So certainly experience in the favor of Ottawa.
Should mention that Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, you can visit NikeSoccer.com. Halfway through this first half, 0-0. Fury with the best opportunities, not really conceding a chance, even a half chance of note at the other end, but Orlando's won a throw inside the Ottawa half as it's taken quickly to De Silva. Into Ellis Hayden. His ball for Schweitzer and doesn't get there. It's Sanon now for Campbell. Andre Campbell for Ottawa. Back to Kyle Venter across for his partner in central defense. It's Shane McElhenney now to the right back, Jonathan Barden. Again, Ottawa with the 4-2-3-1. They've played it before this season, but have gone primarily with a 3-4-3. Here's Campbell now inside the Orlando City B half. Launches it into the air towards Tucker Hume. It comes to the right, quick turn. The shot by Howarth, and he hit the bar. Oh, great effort from Carl Howarth. Just missed putting Ottawa in front as he's now got a crossbar in each of his 2 appearances this year for Ottawa Fury FC. This is his first start.
Well, a great turn by Carl Howarth to get around the defender and then just tries to chip the keeper, does it well. And was wide open at the back post and glances off the crossbar and stays out. But what a turn by Carl Howarth on Zachary Ellis Hayden. Couple of good chances now coming early for Ottawa inside the opening 24 minutes.
And now it's Desantos who's held back. And this will be a free kick dead center about 30 yards out. And also a yellow card coming to defender Jordan Schweitzer, actually their midfielder, but he was in a defensive position there, and not a necessary yellow card because Desantos was going to be not alone on goal, but only with one defender back.
Yeah, well, Tucker Hume was breaking down to the left, had Howarth to his right, and Schweitzer just getting caught in possession. We talked about it so many times this year, AJ, when Ottawa plays with that high line of pressure and really presses the defender in possession. Certainly causes turnovers. We saw that on numerous occasions Saturday evening in the match against Rochester.
So both Gerardo Bruna and Carl Howarth sizing this up. And it's played towards Sano by Carl Howarth, and now here's Andre Campbell with the cross inside the 6-yard box, and it takes a couple of bounces on the turf, and the keeper Earl Edwards Jr. able to grab it and roll it to a central defender, Zach Carroll. Wide left, just beyond the halfway line for Ellis Hayden. Zach Ellis Hayden for Riley Kraft. Now Connor Donovan. Kraft. Pierre Da Silva. Free kick. Orlando, and taken a little too quickly, so they'll have to place it on the turf inside the Ottawa half. They move it wide right, now it's Schweitzer. Cross on the left for Zach Ellis Hayden. Two players at the edge of the 18-yard box for Orlando, now three as they play it back, and all the way center circle it comes to Connor Donovan, across for Zach Carroll. Carroll going forward with it, and this is going to earn Orlando City B a corner, as that's conceded by Kyle Venter.
Well, shots through 27 minutes, 6-0 in favor of Ottawa, and this presents Orlando with an opportunity to do something on a set piece here.
Looks like it's going to be Pierre Da Silva with a left-footed in-swinger from the far corner flag. Here in the 28th minute, 0-0. Here's the Da Silva corner, and a good ball, and it curled in and took a bounce inside the 6-yard box.
As Captain Zach Carroll almost got on the end of that, as it just wasn't owned by anyone in red, and takes a bounce and almost finds the head of Zach Carroll on the bounce, but he was kind of off balance and it bounced in behind him. Carroll has just one goal this season, 6'3" defender.
Flicked on by Tucker Hume to Desantos, trying to spring Sano, who's got great pace, and now they're going to call handball against Jimmy Shamar Sano. Got in behind the defense, but free kick here for Orlando. Fury win possession right back, Barden to the keeper, Callum Irving. They'll send this into the Orlando half. Header won by Carroll against Hume, but Fury back in possession. Played ahead on the right side and just away from Sano. And the keeper Edwards has it for Orlando.
Why Ottawa does play that 4-2-3-1 on occasion this year. It's a different setup in that they have both their big guys in Tucker Hume and Steven Desantos out there, and so far seems to be working with them. Tucker Hume presents a lot more pace, as does Jimmy Shamar-Sano, who's made some good runs so far this afternoon.
Approaching the half-hour mark at TD Place on this school day game. 0-0 the score. Riley Kraft in possession for Orlando City B. Here's this wide right. Carroll down to the keeper, Edwards. The captain, Zach Carroll. Now it's Austin Martz. Looking to spring Ben Polk. And Deacon as well. Danny Deacon making that run, but that'll go out for an Ottawa goal kick. Right on the half-hour mark. Which gives us time to tell you that you can stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts. That's every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM FC, channel 85. Also, don't forget, SiriusXM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check uslsoccer.com for dates and times. Mike Watts also gonna, I had a good chat with Mike earlier this week, and he's also gonna talk about how there's a need to merge the U21 and U20s around the world.
I think you just had a Pierre Maguire moment there.
That's the beauty of Mondays. I mean, you get corner kicks at 6 to 7, and then Mike Watts, USL Coast to Coast from 9 to 10. This Fury attack here on the right side. It's Carl Howarth. Now Roseboom comes to Howarth near touchline. Roseboom trying to spring Howarth and get a half step on the defender, but it comes back. Slipping was McElhaney, and he's getting up slowly. Hopefully he's going to be okay here. Roseboom still in possession for Ottawa, and McElhaney is up and okay. Bruna's ball went one way and Hume was going the other. A little miscommunication there, and now Fury wins a free kick inside the center circle. 33rd minute, 0-0.
Yeah, that challenge from Michael Cox on Kyle Venter draws the ire of the Fury center back, making his 4th straight start this afternoon. John Barden, you'll also note, playing with that right wrist and hand all taped up. Recently had wrist surgery, an injury that had pretty much followed him right the way through training camp.
Off the free kick, flicked on, and offside flag up against Fury.
So his first appearance with the club since the 27th of May, which was, of course, that 5-3 win over Rochester, showing that right side of the field today with a former teammate of his and Carl Howarth. They played together here in the nation's capital during the 2013 PDL season. Back when Howarth aptly sported the number 45, which was then changed to 17 when he came here, and now rocks the number 9.
I think number 9 is probably more of a striker's number than 45.
Yes, albeit he did lead the PDL in scoring in 2013, if I'm not mistaken.
On our radio broadcast on TSN 1200, we'll hear today from Carl Howarth as our player profile, and
man, you're just full of segues today. I love this.
He mentions another great number 9, arguably the greatest number 9 of all time, as one of his favorite players growing up. The great Alan Shearer, of course.
I should have known there was some bias to that.
Here's a ball towards Ottawa's number 9, chested down. It's Carl Howarth, 20 yards out near touchline, and ahead, just beyond Lance Roseboom inside the Orlando penalty area, and they are able to clear this out for an Ottawa throw, and there's That wasn't getting past Bruce Grobelar, I'll tell you that.
The ever sure hands of Bruce Grobelar.
Yeah.
You can just see it.
Is he
AJ
the greatest keeper in Liverpool history?
Can you name a better one?
Well, I can't. I know I've looked at lists. I'm not a big Liverpool fan.
Statistically speaking, 100%. He is
with
the
his silverware,
most
no question.
decorated goalkeeper in English football history.
But just looking at lists, as a guy who's not a Liverpool fan,
as you've noted twice now.
1A and 1B in terms of greatest Liverpool players of all time. One is in the building today, and that's Kenny Dalglish. The other player that constantly gets mentioned alongside him, not near the silverware, but he did win a European Cup, and that would be of more recent vintage, Steven Gerrard. But you don't
one of my favorites.
You don't find anyone else amongst the top two, and great to see Kenny Dalglish in Ottawa for the next week, watching his son on the touchline here today, and probably the best Scottish player in footballing history as well. As here comes Orlando City B with a good run, and this is cleared out for a corner.
Well, shouts for handball from the Orlando City players there as it came in and right in the midsection of John Barden, able to bring that down and clear it out of harm's way, but Orlando will maintain possession on the corner after some good work down that right-hand side.
So this will be a corner from the near corner flag. And here is the delivery that's sent back to the halfway line. Ellis Hayden lays it up towards Cox. Cleared beyond him. High ball that's brought down by Steven Desantos. Just couldn't get it across to Sano as Ottawa had numbers. But Orlando countering here. De Silva, near touchline, 35 yards out. Ball for Ellis Hayden. Back to Pierre De Silva. Inside the penalty area, Roseboom with the tackle, and that was...
No, nothing in it there at all. It was well done by the Ottawa captain.
Yeah, but at the very least, it gave you something to think about. And gave the referee something to think about, because he did go down inside the penalty area. Anytime a player goes down inside the penalty area with any kind of contact, you have to be concerned. But Orlando City B starting to find their way in this match after Ottawa dominated the proceedings early. The ball back here from Connor Donovan, and that was very dangerous for the keeper, Earl Edwards Jr., who had to be sharp. Otherwise, that could have been on the highlights for all the wrong reasons this week. Carroll for Schweitzer. Up top for Deacon, headed away by Venter. But here they come down the right side, and the ball in towards Deacon, and Bruna gets in the way, and Bruna plays this across for Andre Campbell. Good positioning there by Gerardo Bruna. 39th minute, 0-0 at TD Place. Orlando back in possession. Kraft, center circle. For the captain, Carroll. Now to Riley Kraft. Goes forward. Cox. Thought he was going to lay it off for Ben Polk, and again some miscommunication there as it comes back now to Ottawa's keeper, Callum Irving. They'll try and pick out Tucker Hume, but Carroll's been rock solid and has prevented a goal here today, playing one off the line. He's been as advertised in that central defensive role for Orlando as Fury try to get it to Sano. The ball from McElhaney over his head, and it'll be an Orlando City B throw. Here's Zach Ellis Hayden near touchline. Inside the Orlando City B half. Connor Donovan to the keeper Earl Edwards Jr. Now Zach Carroll. Ahead for Schweitzer. Riley Kraft. Donovan for Kraft. Wide left, Ellis Hayden able to keep it in play. Now Ellis Hayden gets past Carl Howarth to the byline, and good defending here by Barden, and Barden will clear it out for an Orlando City B corner.
Yeah, good run down that left side by Ellis Hayden. Get around Carl Howarth. John Barden squares up to him, shouts for a foul, but Orlando will keep possession, and now Riley Kraft set to take his second corner.
Once again near corner flag. This will be a right-footed in-swinger from Riley Kraft. 5 players inside the Ottawa penalty area, and it's headed away by Tucker Hume. Sent forward by Carl Howarth. Sano trying to run onto this, and it is played back to the keeper Edwards by Ellis Hayden. There were 2 defenders back, and Ellis Hayden doesn't get that touch there. It's one-on-one with a keeper for the speedy Jimmy Shamar Sano.
Yeah, well, his first touch wasn't clean, so that allowed Sano to gain some ground, and then his back pass to the keeper had just enough weight on it. It's the speedster unable to get there. Really like his game in the first half. Again, this is his first ever start for Ottawa. He's been used as a sub to date.
It's a Fury throw. Here's Carl Howarth. And a long throw inside the 18-yard box. Headed away. Fury back in possession. It's Bruna, 40 yards out. And he'll play it back to Andre Campbell. Launches this forward. And this will be easy pickings for the keeper, Earl Edwards Jr. Go to enter the 43rd minute. 0-0 Ottawa Fury FC and Orlando City B. Should remind you that you can stay up to date. Some of the top talent and rising stars in the USL. As Fury make a run here, it's Howarth with a cross, and it's 1-0 Ottawa Fury FC. It's Steven Desantos. Great run by Carl Howarth, and Desantos with the finish in the 43rd minute. Fury take the lead 1-0.
Second goal of the season from Steven Desantos, and the first since April when they won 1-0 in Richmond, but that was Carl Howarth that did all the work there. Great touch, great poise in possession, beats 3 white shirts, gets to the ball first, great delivery across the top of the 6-yard box, and Steven Desantos running down Main Street, just a simple touch to open the scoring at a clutch time as we inch closer to halftime.
Well, based on the run of the play throughout 45 minutes, or 43 now, it's certainly what Ottawa has deserved, but Orlando has been the better team the last 5 or so minutes with the better opportunities, earning 3 corners after Ottawa really dominated proceedings early. And it is Desantos with a goal in the 43rd minute. As Orlando looks to answer back right away, Cox's ball intercepted, and Fury looked to counter ball for Tucker Hume, but Donovan comes across, and good tackle there as Orlando back in possession, center circle. Deacon gives up possession, and Desantos is fouled. It'll be an Ottawa free kick. Should remind you, just to finish what I was saying before the great opportunity, again, if you want to follow all those rising stars and the top talent in USL, follow them at USL, that's on Twitter, or visit uslsoccer.com. And of course, you can also check uslsoccer.com for those dates and times on the USL game of the week. Mike Watts will provide that information as well. 9 p.m. Sirius XM 85 on Mondays. Header misses wide of the goal here from Desantos, as we do have a minute of stoppage time, a minimum of 1 minute to be played here in the first half. On this beautiful morning in Canada's capital. You'd almost think we're in Orlando in March with the weather here. Okay, maybe February. Yesterday was maybe April weather, 30 degrees. It's 22 here right now. As Fury attack, and it comes to Sano. Sano 15 yards out inside the penalty area, trying to lay it off for Roseboom. Comes back to Sano. And Orlando able to alleviate any kind of pressure. Played back into the Ottawa half, and good work by McElhaney. As it comes to Carl Howarth, halfway line.
Howarth just has that ability to play such an effective ball with the outside of his right boot. We saw him try a shot on goal earlier. A few times he's put in passes, both deep and long. Able to get some good power on it, gets that nice swerve to the ball. And see the value that he adds to the lineup, just offers something completely different that Ottawa does not have in their squad.
And there is the halftime whistle. As it is 1-0 Ottawa Fury FC on a 43rd minute goal from Steven Desantos. We'll hear from Paul Dalglish here momentarily in conversation with Sanisha Sindic, but pretty good first half for Ottawa.
Yeah, no, look, Paul Dalglish is going to be very pleased with how his team really came out of the gates and how they finished that half. We'll hear from him now.
With Fury FC head coach Paul Dalglish. Paul, 1-0 after the first 45 minutes. A late goal for you guys. Your thoughts of this first half?
Yeah, I think we've been absolutely excellent. That's probably the best half of football that I've seen since I've been here. But you don't get anything for being ahead at half time. We're really, really pleased with the way the first half's gone. But we've got to do it again. You know, football's all about getting the ball in the opposition box and creating as many chances as you can. And I feel we've done that fantastically well today.
11 a.m. kickoff for the school day game. A little bit of a different preparation perhaps for you guys. So just a little word on that and perhaps the atmosphere of the game today.
This is wonderful. I'm so happy to see all these young fans here. It's really inspired us to put on a performance. This is the lifeblood of Ottawa Fury, and I hope they enjoy themselves and want to come back.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
There you have it. The manager pleased with the first half. I'm not going to say it's better than their halves against Toronto FC or Vancouver Whitecaps, but certainly a very good half for Ottawa Fury.
Yeah, no question. They did everything that they needed to do inside the opening 15, 20 minutes. They owned the pace. They owned the possession. They created chances. They're winning in all the offensive categories that you would want to see them winning. And then, of course, they got that all-important first goal, and they got it on the cusp of halftime. So a lot of momentum coming into that second half.
Halftime score, it is Ottawa Fury FC 1 and Orlando City B 0. Coming up next, Audra Sherman will join Tyler McDonald and Jenna Mosier, and our player profile as well. We'll have our halftime stats in a few minutes' time. The halftime score, it's Ottawa Fury FC 1, Orlando City B 0. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Again, another great experience. It's great to come out of college and get some pro games under my belt, really get out there and start playing. Living in another country, a beautiful country, you know, traveling the world and playing soccer around the world has really been a dream for me. I was fortunate enough to come out of college and go straight into it, so I didn't really have a struggle of, you know, being out of the game for a season or two. So for me, I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to do it and lucky enough to get an opportunity here. So it's worked out for me, but there's a lot of boys trying to do it, and it's a very competitive industry, so, you know, not everyone's quite as lucky. So thank my lucky stars. Yeah, I mean, when I was given the opportunity to come back, I took it with both hands. I had such a good summer playing here a few seasons ago, and when they asked me to come back, I was like, I didn't really have to think twice about it. It's a great city, made up of great people. They like their soccer around here, and I had a great experience, so I was like, yep, I'll definitely get involved in that again. I mean, it's a completely different level. The organisation of it all is just on another scale. So I was quite happily surprised when I came back and saw, the stadium they're playing in now, the facilities we've got around here, the training, the locker room, all of that. It's just taken to a whole new level. So I've been really encouraged by the progression that they've had since the PDL days. So I thought it was extremely cold there, and then I came here and they took it up another level. So I thought I was going to be used to it, and that you just can't get used to it. Everyone tells me you'll get used to it. I just completely disagree with them. It's even colder here, yeah, and it really hits you with the wind, man. It's struggling. My most memorable soccer memory was probably playing in the Icelandic Cup final. It was a really good achievement for us to get there. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but it was great to play in such a good stadium with such a good amount of fans, and that was a great experience for me. Yeah. As a player, quite intense, doesn't stop working, give 100% every single game, just work hard and give it my all, don't give up.
Well, welcome to the Ottawa Fury halftime show. 1-0 Fury lead after 45 minutes of play. Jenna Mosier alongside me, Tyler McDonald, for the second straight week. A very special guest, Audra Sherman from the Fury FC Elite Girls Program, who had a very interesting trip this past few days. You just came back from Whale Cove, Nunavut, on a program there. Just tell us a little bit about that. You were with some of the women's national team members as well.
Yeah, so it's part of the First Assist initiative with John Shabbat. And so I went with Kadisha Buchanan and Ashley Lawrence up to Wales Cove to just do a couple clinics for the youth up there.
It sounds like an amazing time. What was the general response when you introduced these clinics with the locals?
I think the kids were just so excited, right? And to also be able for them to meet like bronze medal winners. And I think they're just kids, right? It's the same reaction you would see here, but I think it's more that appreciation that we took the time to come up there. But more for me is they were so welcoming to us, and their hospitality and how great the people are. Just great there. They were awesome.
Yeah, you definitely got to experience the culture, right? Yes. What was a big highlight for you of the trip?
For me personally, there's two parts probably. There's one evening that it was around probably around midnight, and it was still daylight, and we went to the local their rec center, and the kids were all just still playing, and they played volleyball, basketball, and so Kadisha started playing basketball with them, and Ashley running around the kids, and it was just really nice to see outside of the soccer how we could form those relationships and bonds, and it was unbelievable. So that was a great part. And then when they took us out to land and fishing and potentially hunting, we didn't get to see any animals, but yeah, that was just speaking with the elders and learning the culture was huge.
Now, of course, you're part of the Elite Girls program as well with Ottawa Fury. Tell us a little bit about that and how that's helping grow soccer here in Canada. That's one of the big things that we've been focusing on with Canada Soccer, isn't it?
Yeah, so this year's kind of a transition year. So I think the big part of the girls program right now is actually what they do in the community. So with the FIT program that we have, we go out with the pro team, the first team, and the guys in doing technical training, kind of engaging the community, and the girls are a big part of that. So that's kind of where we're at this year with it. And then next year we're going to transition into something a little bigger. So it'll be exciting in 2018.
Audra, thanks so much for joining us. Very excited to hear about the program, and your trip sounds amazing. You can read more about that on the Ottawa Fury website as well. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have second half action here from TD Place. 1-0 Ottawa Fury FC lead off a Desantos goal after halftime. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh.
It only takes a moment to make a moment.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. At work or at play, you're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Oh, hey, she's cute. Nice going, man. Things are going great for you. You've earned a night out. Good drinks, good friends. Yeah, we can go ahead and call this a good night. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Not smart. Yeah, I saw that coming. Say goodbye to her. Ouch, that'll hurt your bank account. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. I hope you like eating frozen dinners. Alone. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Raise the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars, innovative technology, and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
Welcome back inside TD Place. AJ Jakubek, Graham Ivory with you as we get set for second half action. The score, Ottawa Fury FC leading Orlando City B by a score of 1-0. A 43rd minute goal by Ottawa's Steven Desantos, getting things going for Ottawa after a number of great opportunities for Fury.
Yeah, look, Ottawa did so well in that first half, and you can break that down in two simple ways. One, the opening kind of 15 to 20 minutes where they owned all the possession, all the opportunity. Orlando kind of found their way back for about a 10-12 minute period, and then Ottawa hit back in that final 5 minutes of the half with that goal from Steven Desantos to give them that 1-0 lead.
Let's have a look at the first half stats. They're brought to you by Rico, making information work for Ottawa Fury FC. You can see the shots. 8-0 Ottawa. Corners 4-3 Orlando. They did get a little stronger as the half wore on, but certainly Ottawa the better of the two sides.
Yeah, and you look at possession, it's really 60-40, but it's it's what you do with the possession when you have the ball, and possession with a purpose, we'll call it. And so far, very purposeful from Ottawa Fury FC. 8 shots on goal, and we mentioned the goal from Steven Desantos, but Carl Howarth had one off the crossbar. Jimmy Chamar-Sano sent one over the bar. Tucker Hume's been involved. We've seen great opportunities for Ottawa. If they can nick one again here inside the opening 10-15 minutes, that'll really put them in the driver's seat. And don't forget, they've got a lot of depth on that bench. You've got 6 goals in between Ryan Williams and Cito, who are available for subs this afternoon as well.
Look forward to second half action, and it's coming up here right now as Ottawa Fury with a 4-2-3-1 that they're going with today, going back from the 3-4-3 to the 4-2-3-1. And the back four is Andre Campbell, Kyle Venter, Shane McElhaney, and Jonathan Barden. The captain, Lance Roseboom, and Gerardo Bruna. And then above them, Jimmy Chamar-Sano, as we do have some substitutions for Orlando that we'll make note of momentarily. Desantos, Howarth, and Sano, and then Tucker Hume, the lone striker up top.
Riley Kraft has been taken off in place of Sean Hines, England Youth International. And it also looks like, Seb Hines, and it looks like Fernando Timbo, former Fury FC defenders, come into the game. I'm just trying to get a look at who he replaced. It looks as though it is the captain, Zach Carroll, who has been removed.
So 2 of 3 changes for Orlando. For Ottawa, they still have available.
Now Carroll's still out there, so it must be Austin Martz who's Martz is still out there. So we'll get
well, Orlando making a run down the right side, and the cross cleared away for Orlando City B throw, and it'll be taken here by Austin Martz. Quickly inside for De Silva, the Ottawa penalty area. He's forced out. Comes back to Carroll. And now a foul given Orlando's way in the 47th minute. 1-0 Ottawa Fury FC.
And it's Danny Deacon who's the other player that's been removed that Fernando Timbo has come on to replace. So a bit of player movement as Timbo kind of drops back into a more defensive role, although he's pressed forward for this set piece.
Free kick, far touchline, 35 yards out, delivered inside the penalty area and forcing a save as it was headed down towards goal. And it was palmed over the bar by the keeper, Callum Irving, here in the 47th minute. Seb Hines, the substitute, got the last touch on that.
Well, he might only be 6 feet tall, but Callum Irving very nimble. Jumping up to send that one over the bar.
So far, corner flag, it will be Pierre Da Silva with a left-footed outswinger here in the 48th minute. Here's the delivery. Headed away towards Howarth. And he launches this high into the air. Sano goes up for it. And they're calling a free kick again against Ottawa.
Well, you heard it loud when Steven Desantos opened the scoring in the 43rd minute, 7,551. The school day game attendance here at TD Place, second highest crowd on the year, short of that Canadian Championship match against Toronto FC that had about 100 more people.
Free kick goes over everyone, and for a goal kick, Ottawa now in the 49th minute. Of course, Montreal Impact will play a friendly here on July 12th as well, so a lot to look forward to in the coming months for Ottawa Fury FC as they look to climb the table. Again, a win today would put them above numerous teams in the table and put them level on points with Bethlehem Steel in 5th on 19 points. Right now sitting 9th on 16 points alongside Orlando City B and New York Red Bulls 2. The visitors on Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Getting it all in. Evening games, afternoon games, morning games. This Fury attack as it comes to Sano on the left-hand side. Jimmy Shamar Sano, 25 yards out. Now to Bruna. Back to Sano in the middle. And a defender right in his face, so he loses possession. Ottawa regroups as it comes all the way back to Callum Irving. He'll launch this forward. Inside the Orlando half, takes a bounce, and Sano runs onto it. And good work by Hines to knock it away from him, but it goes to Howarth. Right side, crosses, and Sano got tied up with his own man, Tucker Hume. Off that ball from Carl Howarth, who set up the opening goal from Steven Desantos in the 43rd minute. Orlando looking to counter, but good work by Bruna to send that out, and it deflects out for an Ottawa throw. Campbell looking to pick out Hume, and a free kick coming Orlando's way. Schweitzer now to Carroll on the right side. Austin Martz as Orlando attacks edge of the 18-yard box. It comes to the Canadian Cox. Michael Cox on the right side, and that did go out of touch. Schweitzer couldn't keep it in. It will be an Ottawa throw. 52nd minute, leading 1-0.
Well, a careful start to this second half for both sides. AJ knowing how important that second goal of this game would be for either side.
Two red shirts in the face of Austin Martz, and between Desantos and Campbell, they combined to win Ottawa a throw.
Martz in his first season with Orlando City B, spent 2016 with Wilmington Hammerheads.
Fury back in possession, it's Hume. Now to Campbell. Sends it forward. It's broken up, and Fury win it back through Barden. His ball a little too far for Carl Howarth. And bit of a slow start to this second half with Fury leading 1-0 in the 53rd minute.
Well, with Orlando pressing a lot down the right side, watch for that switch long ball as Carl Howarth seems to be really straddling the offside line on the far side. Anytime Orlando sends pressure down that right side, he remains pressed high.
Comes back to Callum Irving, and he scoops it up. Michael Cox lurking. Sends this high into the air just inside the Orlando City B half. Header won by Schweitzer, but comes back to Callum Irving. And he'll play it along the ground. Barden plays this into the air for Tucker Hume. Header won by Orlando City B. Ellis Hayden now to Donovan. His ball dangerous, yeah. Sano read it, but getting there just before him was Zach Carroll. And it comes back to the keeper, Edwards. Seb Hines. Back to Edwards. Now De Silva, but lost concentration there briefly, and Ottawa comes back through Roseboom. Now Desantos trying to let it run on to Tucker Hume, but that was intercepted, and back comes Ben Polk. Here's Polk with the run. Plays this wide left. Ellis Hayden. Just outside the penalty area. Curls in across, headed away by Shane McElhaney. And it will be an Orlando City B throw in the 55th minute.
Sound defending there by Shane McElhaney. You watch just how he tracked that play from just midfield all the way back inside his own 18-yard box. Well positioned to clear that one away.
Bruna. There's this wide right. And Carl Howarth with two defenders on him goes down. Referee says play on. Orlando in possession, and they look to counter as the ball comes near touchline just inside the Ottawa half. It's Austin Martz trying to cut inside, gets it to Schweitzer, back to Martz, 30 yards out. Outside of the boot for Cox. Cox, good strength, gets the shot away, and that takes a deflection, goes out for an Orlando corner.
Well, that was a must-happen tackle from Kyle Venter, who got the right boot on it to deflect it away. As Jimmy Chamar-Sano's challenge in on Cox wasn't strong enough to bump him off possession. And now Orlando earn a set piece.
56th minute corner for Orlando City B.
Their 6th corner of the day.
Left-footed outswinger, and Roseboom gets his head to that. And here's a good run by Carl Howarth, and stays on his feet. Looked like he was fouled. Once again, the referee not calling it. And this will go out for an Orlando City B throw as Andre Campbell.
I'm not sure that ball actually went into touch.
Doing his best to keep it alive. The ball for Ellis Hayden just out of the reach of his head, and this will go out for an Ottawa throw. And Jamar Dixon getting set, and he's going to be Ottawa's first substitution of the day. Orlando's used 2 of their 3. Tucker Hume goes hard up for this at the halfway line, but Orlando in possession. Is good work here by Bruna to win it. Bruna with a long ball Sano with a lot of running to do to catch up to this. And he's got pace, but not enough to get beyond Austin Martz, who plays it back to the keeper, Edwards.
Yeah, I think a bit of miscommunication there as both players look frustrated. I think Sano checked his run and Bruna had put more oomph on the ball to try and send him long.
Played wide left for Ellis Hayden. And good work there to win it back for Ottawa, Jonathan Barden. As it comes all the way back to the keeper, Callum Irving. Now Venter. Wide left, Campbell. To the keeper, Irving. Here's Roseboom. Venter back to Irving. Trying to pick out Howarth on the right, headed away, and this will be another Ottawa throw inside their own half, and that allows Ottawa to make their first substitution. On comes Jamar Dixon, and he will replace Carl Howarth, who in his first start of the season and second appearance makes an impact. He hit the crossbar for the second straight game and also set up Ottawa's lone goal, scored by Steven Desantos in the 43rd minute.
Yeah, it's been a great return to the starting lineup for Carl Howarth here this afternoon, and especially for these young fans with some of his foot skills and trickery has certainly got them on the edge of their seats. And when you're playing the number of games in such a close proximity, it's a great asset for Paul Dalglish to have the depth on his bench and able to make sure that Howarth gets an extra bit of rest ahead of Saturday afternoon's contest against New York Red Bulls 2.
Yeah, that'll be a big one, but first trying to secure these points to move into that tie for fifth with Bethlehem Steel. Orlando attacking on the right side, 30 yards out, it's Polk. And good defending by Andre Campbell, and they're calling a hold here on Ben Polk, and it'll be a free kick for Ottawa Fury FC as we're just about to hit the hour mark at TD Place. 60 minutes gone. Ottawa Fury FC 1, Orlando City B 0. 43rd minute goal from Steven Desantos. Irving sends this high into the air inside the Orlando City B half, about 30 yards out. Now Roseboom goes to ground, and Polk in possession. Moves this wide right. Here's Timbo with the cross, and coming across, getting his foot on that was Desantos. Goes high into the air, and Irving scoops it up. Trying to pick out Hume, goes beyond him and sent back to Earl Edwards Jr., the Orlando keeper. Flicked on as here comes Orlando attacking on the left side, 30 yards out, the cross towards Cox. Cox gets it, byline. Lays it off for Martz, left-footed shot, that's blocked in front. Campbell got in front of that as he went to ground. Good work by Andre Campbell.
Both players really needed to take their efforts on the first touch, both Cox and Martz. That second touch allowed Ottawa to be able to close down the angle and limit the scoring opportunity that Orlando looked like they were building towards.
62nd minute free kick now for Ottawa. Just inside the Orlando half. Diagonal ball towards Sano. Bruna comes across and plays it for Campbell. He's in possession just inside the Orlando half, now to Venter. Moves it across for Barden. Into the air towards Hume. Headed away from him, and Orlando will look to counter here. It's Ben Polk. Plays this wide right. Here's Martz. Austin Martz against Campbell. Lets it fly on the cross, chested down by Barden inside the 18-yard box, and plays it calmly ahead for Jamar Dixon, who is able to beat one defender. And Ottawa starts their counter, now ahead for Desantos, 30 yards out. Desantos, good work there defending, is cleared out of touch for an Ottawa throw.
Yeah, it's a good run by Steven Desantos to win Ottawa a throw deep inside Orlando's half as he tried to cut inside Seb Hines.
Dixon will try a long throw from about 15 yards out, far touchline. Trying to pick out Hume. This is cleared away towards the halfway line. Cox couldn't get past Venter. And now great work by Jimmy Shamar-Sano to keep control of it, but Orlando wins it back. It's Cox. Oh, great tackle by Campbell. Andre Campbell with a lunging challenge and wins it for Tucker Hume. Had to be timed perfectly. Now Roseboom, middle of the park, 30 yards out. Lance Roseboom. Crossing the right for Barden. Back into the middle, Hume, back to goal. 23 yards out. Comes to Roseboom. Moves this wide right. The cross doesn't get in. Comes back to Roseboom. And this will be a push called on Ottawa's John Barden, and this will be a free kick going Orlando's way. 65th minute, 1-0 Ottawa Fury FC. Second substitution about to occur here for Ottawa Fury FC as Sergio Minicio will replace Gerardo Bruna.
Well, Gerardo Bruna did a good job in the middle of the park this afternoon. Put a few good balls into the box, especially in that first half that just kind of missed anyone in red, but can't discredit the service delivered from the Argentinian. And what's good about what we've seen from Bruna the last handful of appearances is that he's kind of developing some rhythm and maintaining his health. Of course, he's been plagued by injuries since joining the club last year.
'66th minute, 1-0 Ottawa Fury FC as Orlando gets it in by a throw. Just short of the halfway line. Middle of the park, Timbo plays it wide on the left side. .25 yards out. Ottawa with two defenders on that far touchline to keep Orlando at bay as it comes back to Seb Hines, and he's going to play it all the way back to the keeper, Earl Edwards Jr. Now the captain, Zach Carroll, for Edwards. Sounds like a NASCAR name, Earl Edwards Jr.
You're thinking of what, Dale Earnhardt Jr., is that it?
Well, kind of a cross between Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Carl Edwards, right?
Yes, there you go.
I'm not even a big NASCAR fan, and I recognize those names. As Orlando 35 yards out, pushes this wide left, and a long shot misses high. That from De Silva. And this will be a goal kick for Ottawa Fury.
No, it's not a bad effort if that's on If that's on target, you're going to certainly force a difficult save from Callum Irving, but he missed wide left by about 3 feet.
Midway through the second half. 1-0 Ottawa Fury FC as Jimmy Shamarsano gets some water at the Ottawa bench. Great turnout, though, with 7,551 here today. Over 6,000 school kids. First ever Ottawa Fury FC school day game. Andre Campbell now. 40 yards out, plays this wide left, looking to pick out Sano. And now a hard challenge on Martz. It will be an Orlando City B throw as that ball got away from Campbell and timed the tackle well enough that he didn't get the foul called against him. And now he will look to shepherd this out of play, and he is successful as it will be an Ottawa goal kick in the 69th minute, leading 1-0. But certainly an exciting week here at TD Place. Not only the 2 soccer games here today, and then Saturday afternoon against New York Red Bulls 2. It'll be a 2 o'clock start, but of course you got the Ottawa Red Blacks season opener on Friday night and hosting the Calgary Stampeders as well. First 2 games of the season for the Red Blacks against the Calgary Stampeders, so that'll be 2 very stern tests for the defending Grey Cup champions.
Champs versus Stamps.
Stamps don't like the fact that it's Champs versus Stamps.
I'm sure they don't.
Given the fact that they were 15-2-1 last year.
1 tie, a rarity, but that stalemate came here at TD Place against the Red Blacks.
Now Ottawa with 4 overtime games last year. Never a dull moment. Fury looking to...
Well, they don't want you to switch off on the broadcast, AJ. Keep you going right till the end.
Well, whether it was 45-37 in overtime or 7-5, never switch off. Fury looking to improve their championship aspirations here, and 3 points would certainly help that as the ball for Tucker Hume just couldn't keep that in play. It'll be a goal kick in the 71st minute for Orlando. Fury leading 1-0. Fury again with a win would tie Bethlehem for 5th in USL East. That would put them 1 point back of Rochester, 5 back at Tampa Bay, 6 behind Louisville, and 9 behind Charleston. The good news is we do have games in hand on Tampa Bay and Charleston. They will have played 1 more game than Louisville, 2 more than Rochester after today, as Eddie Edward will be the 3rd and final substitution that Paul Dalglish uses. And Steven Desantos will be replaced by the Ottawa native Eddie Edward.
Well, Steven Desantos gets his first goal since he helped secure Ottawa their first ever win in USL back in April against Richmond. And all he had to do was just redirect that cross from Carl Howarth on goal, and it was going to go in. A phenomenal setup from Carl Howarth, and great to see Steven Desantos back on the score sheet for Fury FC. And now gets in a bit of added rest again ahead of Saturday's match against Red Bulls 2.
Free kick for Ottawa, about 40 yards out, sent in on the far side towards Eddie Edward. Comes back to Roseboom now, middle of the park. Now to John Barden on the wide right side. Back to Roseboom. 3 defenders on him and just couldn't take it clean as it comes back to Dixon. Center circle now. Played wide left for Jimmy Shamar-Sanon by Venter. Knocked away from him. Dixon comes across, high boot, and it'll be a free kick for Orlando. They still have 1 substitute left to use if they so choose. Anthony Pulis. And yes, if you weren't listening earlier, it is the son of former Stoke City manager and current West Brom manager Tony Pulis. Orlando in possession as comes to Timbo.
Doesn't wear the ball cap like his dad.
No, he doesn't.
You gotta like that look.
Hey, he's been successful. You can't argue with
right.
what he's done with Stoke City and West Brom. No sweatpants look like the Hungarian keeper as here comes Orlando 25 yards out, and now a left-footed drive from distance by Polk, and that misses the target. Is something out of nothing. All of a sudden Polk had some space in front of him and let it fly from about 25 yards out.
Haven't seen much from Ben Polk on the afternoon, just his second start of the season with Orlando, but that was a great effort there from distance, and that found the frame. He looked as though he might have had Callum Irving beat.
Here's Jimmy Shamar-Sanon. Knocked away from him, and now Cox 45 yards out. Leaves it for Schweitzer. Wide ball for Ellis Hayden, and he could not keep it in play. So a quarter of an hour plus stoppage time remaining for Ottawa Fury FC to secure the 3 points at home. And I've said it before, I think top 4 has to be, I mean, obviously playoffs the absolute bare minimum, but top 4 has to be the goal for this team in at least one home playoff game as Ottawa looks to counter. It comes on the left side. Dixon with a shot, and he puts it off the outside of the netting. I think Dixon thought there was a deflection, but this will be a goal kick. Good run here by Sano as he laid it off to Dixon.
Yeah, it was a great touch by Sano, and unfortunately Dixon tries to toe poke it with that right boot. Had he trusted his left, might have been able to push that across the face of goal, shot at the back post, or at least to one of the red shirts running on. Ramiz, the athletic therapist of Orlando City B, out to 10-2 Fernando Timbo. We're 79 now with Orlando. We're 77 here, but that number occupied by Austin Martz.
Time for a water break here as Timbo gets some treatment in the 77th minute. Well, Paul Dalglish has to be pleased with the performance, but still have to close and get the 3 points.
Yeah, well, look, the pace of this second half is certainly grinded down from what we saw in the opening 45 minutes, and you'd be hard-pressed to think you could play a full 90 at that tempo, but they've done well to shut things down. Really like the play of John Barden this afternoon, who returns to the lineup for the first time since May 27th, and defensively he's been very sound. A couple of really good challenges, good touches on the ball. Linked up very well with Carl Howarth in that first half on a couple of occasions. Liking his performance today, and again, we've talked about this many a times. We talked about it last year, and I think we've pretty much talked about it since day one, AJ, and that's the importance of the depth in your squad, and certainly paying off dividends for Paul Dalglish so far today. And with the 3 substitutes he used, Eddie Edward, Jamar Dixon, and Sergio Minicio, he's able to give a full day of rest to Ryan Williams and Cito, who I'm sure we can expect to see in the starting lineup on Saturday afternoon against New York.
Hoping for some of the same fireworks that we saw earlier this year in New York.
Yeah, that was something.
When Ottawa won 4-3, they were down 3-2 with 5 minutes to go and turned what looked like a loss into a victory. Ryan Williams with the decisive penalty in the 90th minute. Here's Orlando, 20 yards out, near touchline. The ball from Martz with the cross. Barden looking to clear. It's headed back towards goal and grabbed by the keeper, Callum Irving.
Always makes for nerving moments when you're waiting for someone to take charge, especially when you're trying to hold off an opposing player.
Irving sends this into the Orlando half with a header won by their captain, Zach Carroll. Fury back in possession. Eddie Edward. And he'll win an Ottawa throw. Edward for Tucker Hume. 2 defenders on him, and it'll be another Ottawa throw here, a little closer to the corner flag. Now into the 80th minute, leading 1-0. And Eddie Edward will use all the space at his disposal so that he can take a good run at this. Long throw, and that's headed away. Barden now for Edward, able to keep it in play, back to Barden. Towards Edward, and a little too much on that ball, and it goes out for an Orlando City B throw. Of course, Orlando City, one of the great stories of soccer starting at the USL level. They drew so well at this level as they look to attack here through Cox. Cox 25 yards out. His shot is blocked. He comes back on the right side. Martz, 2 defenders on him. Couldn't get past Minicio, and here comes Ottawa on the counters. Playing it ahead on the left side, and taking a tumble now is Andre Campbell, and will at least win an Ottawa throw. But back to Orlando City and just how they came to be in MLS. Well, they had such great crowds in USL that eventually it was inevitable that they were going to get an MLS franchise, and that's where they're at right now. Not unlike what we've seen at this level from the likes of Cincinnati and Sacramento, where all of a sudden MLS just had to take notice and say, okay, well, maybe we've got to look at giving them a franchise.
Yeah, no question. They have had such a groundswell of support in Orlando, and beautiful new stadium as well. And remember a feature that Rachel Bonetta did last year with MLS, going and checking out all the different MLS cities and hanging out with their supporters. And they're really great story on Orlando City, and that purple color that they wear, such an integral part of their brand and part of that community.
Well, and just great to have an MLS franchise in Florida as well, because the only 2 franchises that folded before Chivas, and of course LAFC is coming in as the second LA team, in Tampa Bay and Miami. Both could get teams in the future. Tampa Bay vying for one of the 4 expansion teams, and Miami, if they can get their act in a stadium together with the David Beckham group, already has a conditional franchise coming their way. So could see as many as 3 Florida teams as Orlando looks to get it into the box for Cox, and that's intercepted and cleared away by Edward. Played ahead on the far touchline, holding it up is Tucker Hume. Now to Minicio. Barden, his ball deflects out. Oh, it stays in. It's going to be an Ottawa throw. And now it's an Orlando throw as they get it in for Ellis Hayden. Oh, good ball here on the left. And the cross, and Cox goes down. And wow, opportunity there as that ball went across the 6-yard box. And there's an Ottawa defender down in the penalty area as De Silva.
Looks like Kyle Venter is down.
Yeah, De Silva got tied up with Cox. Or sorry, Venter got tied up with Cox after that De Silva cross about 3 yards from goal.
Well, never a good sight to see a guy like Kyle Venter down in that type of pain after the injuries that he's had to battle his way back from, and you hope it's nothing too severe.
'84th minute, 1-0 Ottawa Fury FC. And it looks like they're working on the knee of Kyle Venter. The right knee, Seaton Pereira, the Ottawa athletic therapist.
Well, when you're able to get up and walk it off on your own, that's always a good sign.
And he is now jogging off, so that's encouraging from an Ottawa perspective. And of course, they've used all 3 of their subs, so if they were to lose somebody to injury, it's down to 10 men until the end. Leading 1-0 on a 43rd minute goal from Steven Desantos.
Well, just to highlight how things perhaps have swung the other way in this half. Ottawa out shooting Orlando in that first half, and shot clock now reads 9-6.
So it's a goal kick for Ottawa in the 86th minute. Leading 1-0. Kyle Venter back out there. High into the air it goes. Schweitzer for Orlando, played forward. Here's Cox. Chests it down. 2 defenders on him. Minicio wins the ball, but Cox goes down and they're calling Venter on the foul. This will be about 40 yards out, near touchline. De Silva lining this up with his left foot. 7 players at the edge or inside the Ottawa 18-yard box as De Silva curls this in with his left foot, and it's punched away by Callum Irving, and Ottawa with lots of space in front of them, but Sano just couldn't get that forward on the left side for Dixon as it goes off to Silva, and this is going to go out for an Ottawa goal kick in the 87th minute.
Great goalkeeping there by Callum Irving. Had to come out and take charge and punches that one away. Seb Hines looking to get on the other end of that delivery. And if Sano's ball wasn't blocked, then Jamar Dixon might have been home free as Ottawa would have caught Orlando on their heels.
Flicked on by Tucker Hume off the goal kick. Sano. Back to Edward. Moves this forward. It's sent back into the Ottawa half. McElhaney comes across. Plays it to the just outside the Orlando penalty area, forcing Edwards to come out. Get this forward. Here's Timbo. He gets it forward, and a good run by Schweitzer, who left it and maybe should have taken that ball.
Oh, nifty move there by the captain, Lance Roseboom.
As Roseboom steps over a couple of different Orlando players, and here comes Ottawa on the counter. It's Roseboom with a good ball forward for Tucker Hume. Heavy touch, but gets it back off his chest, and it deflects out for a goal, or rather an Ottawa corner. It was Tucker Hume with the opportunity there, and
that would have been some goal if he was able to finish that. It almost turned into an impressive own goal as Hume puts it over Collins, chests it down, and then it takes a double deflection and ends up going off Seb Hines and over the bar.
So, corner from the near corner flag. Jimmy Shamar-Sano will just leave it for Tucker Hume, and he's just going to try and waste time at the corner flag as it deflects off him for an Orlando throw in the 89th minute. Benicio goes over the top to win a header, and they're calling him for a foul. Orlando with a player on the pitch, so they're going to have to slow it down rather than move it quickly.
We might have missed one on the first bump on Jamar Dixon, and then both Benicio and Dixon both went up for that one, and Benicio came down top of Schweitzer.
Into the 90th minute here at TD Place, as everyone is going forward on this Orlando free kick about 10 yards inside their own half. Keeper Earl Edwards Jr. out to play this. With the injury to Venter, we might get, what, 4, maybe 5 minutes of stoppage time?
Yeah, I'm confident we'll at least see 4 here this afternoon.
Well, we'll find out in about 15 seconds. Earl Edwards Jr. still waiting to get this free kick.
Yeah, so this is something coming in terms of a call in the video assisted review. I'm not sure what they're going over to review, as we see the match official run across to the far side where he's able to have a look at the replay here.
This feels like they're just using it so that they said they could use it.
Well, there's been a couple of occasions today where you've seen things slow down and the officials kind of got his hand to his ear, to his earpiece to listen in. We'll now see the amount of 5 minutes.
Yeah. So a minimum of 5 minutes to be tacked on here, and Ottawa still with work to do to secure the 3 points, leading 1-0.
I'm not sure what they'd be reviewing here, to be completely honest with you, short of they felt that there was some sort of booking that maybe has been missed, but
there we go. We used it. Okay, now we can play on. That was a giant waste of time. So now we get the free kick. Again, 10 yards inside the Orlando City B half. The keeper, Edwards, launches this forward just inside the Ottawa penalty area. Flicked on. Out comes Irving, and he collides, and there will be a free kick here as he collided there with Zach Carroll, the captain. And free kick, Ottawa.
And Carroll picks up a yellow card for that challenge in on Irving. Irving coming out, but Carroll was leading with that right boot. As Callum Irving went to challenge, tough collision. Looks like he might have got it right in the midsection. Well, you can see why they wanted to bring in Zach Carroll from last year's USL Cup champs, the New York Red Bulls too. He's had a solid performance for Orlando this afternoon, both defensively, and he's proven to be a threat on set pieces inside the Ottawa penalty area.
Yeah, very physical defender that's won a lot of headers here today and played one off the line as well. Keeping out a goal. Another 2.5 minutes at least to be played, but might even get a little bit more than that. Callum Irving sends this forward, flicked on off the head of Tucker Hume, but Orlando back in possession as they send it forward. Venter with the header, out of touch. It'll be an Orlando City B throw, about 20 yards out, far touchline, and there's an Ottawa player down in behind the play. Getting up slowly is John Barden, and he's okay. So Orlando gets the throw in. 25 yards out, here's the cross towards Schweitzer, headed clear. Dixon goes up for it. Sent in by Carroll, but Hume will play it into space. Trying to run onto that is Jamar Dixon, but it is played back by Martz to the keeper, and onside here is Sano, and he's one-on-one with the keeper. Sano with a shot, and coming way off his line to make the save, about 15 yards out.
Well,
was Earl Edwards Jr. to keep it 1-0 as Orlando looks to attack here now, 25 yards out off the counter. Ball inside the Ottawa penalty area. Here's the cross, and it deflects out for an Orlando City B throw, so chances at both ends here, and Orlando not done yet, down 1-0. Well,
when you got the keeper that far out, you really want to try and get that ball up in the air and chip him, and then at the other end, a great defensive challenge from Eddie Edward to force another Orlando corner.
Well, 30 seconds left to stoppage time. Here's the left-footed out-swinging corner. It comes a bicycle kick attempt that fails, and now it's cleared outside the penalty area again. It's Sano in space. Sano, great diving challenge there by Martz to send this out of touch and prevent another one-on-one opportunity with Sano and the keeper Edwards.
Well, talk about a wild couple of minutes there, and now it's Andre Campbell who's down in the Ottawa penalty area. And they've called for the athletic therapist Seton Pereira to come out and tend to him. And while it was, fantastic atmosphere today, as you mentioned, 7,551 in attendance for the club's first ever school day game. Certainly a hot one here this afternoon, and this one wrapping up just in the peak of the noon hour. And I've also learned that this is the largest school day game in recent history in USL. Portland Timbers 2 had a school day game earlier in this year that had an attendance of 7,277. So well done to everyone who put today's school day match together. And great opportunity for the club to gain further exposure to such a young demographic. And we know soccer is alive and thriving in the nation's capital.
Andre Campbell back on the pitch. Ottawa with the throw. It quickly goes out. It's an Orlando City B throw. We're through the 5 minutes, but again, we've got more stoppage time to be played. And there is the final whistle here at TD Place. It's 3 points for Ottawa Fury FC. Carl Howarth making an immediate impact, Ottawa's Player of the Year in 2016 in the North American Soccer League. His first start of the season coming off an ankle injury. He came off the bench Saturday in Rochester, starts here today, and sets up the only goal of the game in the 43rd minute by Steven Desantos. Final score, Ottawa Fury FC 1, and Orlando City B 0.
Yeah, you know, it was a great performance from Ottawa today. All the positives that we said they needed to take away from Saturday's 1-0 defeat in Rochester, they put into the game here this afternoon. They came out with that energetic start. They won the battles and definitely in their own penalty area, but they certainly won a lot of balls inside Orlando's penalty area too to create a lot of opportunity. That opening 45 minutes, I know Paul Dalglish characterized that at halftime as the best half of football he's seen from Ottawa Fury FC since his time here. It was certainly a very impressive opening 45 minutes. Yes, the tempo kind of slowed down a little bit in that second half, but the mark of teams that know how to win are those that know how to close out a game, and I think Ottawa did a fantastic job closing this one out this afternoon.
Man of the match today, well, it's none other than the man who set up the only Ottawa goal today, last year's Player of the Year, Carl Howarth.
Yeah, look, we've talked about him not being in the lineup because we know what he can bring to the lineup. We've seen it ever since day one when he was the first ever Canadian signed to Ottawa Fury FC, and even back in the PDL days with Ottawa Fury. This guy offers just something completely different to a squad. His pace, his foot skills, his game intelligence, and of course his shot. And well, of course the service as well, because he set up the only goal in today's match. A great run down that right side, skinned three players in one move, set up Steven Desantos for that goal in the 43rd minute. And it was a crucial goal that Ottawa was able to take that lead into halftime and really allowed Paul Dalglish to also rest some of his bench ahead of a very big match coming up Saturday afternoon against New York Red Bulls 2.
And that is our next broadcast. It comes to you on Saturday, 2 o'clock start at TD Place as Ottawa welcomes last year's USL champs, New York Red Bulls 2. Again, a 4-3 win in New York the last time these two teams played, so should be an entertaining contest. And then on Canada Day, they visit Louisville, so a couple of big games coming up for Ottawa Fury. On behalf of our entire crew here today, our producer Mike Sutherland, for Graham Ivory and Jenna Mosier and Tyler McDonald, I'm AJ Jakubek. Final score again, Ottawa Fury FC 1, Orlando City B 0. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This has been Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
This copywritten telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.